In today's video, I have a 1-minute gesture drawing challenge for you. Join me in drawing 5 1-minute poses, and if you can, post your drawings on Instagram and tag me so that I can see your work and give you feedback. And in this video, I also want to give you 3 really important tips or pointers to think about when it comes to drawing these ultra short poses. If you're new to this channel, my name is Siobhan. I share videos about a dynamic and an expressive approach to drawing the figure. Each week I share tips and techniques for developing your own natural expressive drawing, and I also share my own process. So if you're interested in figure drawing, then definitely subscribe here so that we can stay in touch. So for this drawing challenge, go to the description below and click on the link there. That's the model reel that I'm drawing from in this video. You can see that the first 5 poses are all timed out. So just hit play and start drawing along, and don't pause the video. And when the timer's up, just move on to the next drawing. I'm going to share my process for this exercise, but before I do, I want to give you 3 really important things to think about, or 3 points to remember when it comes to gesture drawing in general, but specifically when it comes to drawing very short 1-minute poses. So the first point that I want to mention, which you've probably heard me talk about before, when it comes to these ultra short poses, draw the gesture and not the figure. On the face of it, this challenge seems very simple. Just spend 5 minutes to draw a couple of short 1-minute poses. But the fact is that it's 5 drawings in 5 minutes of the figure, and the figure is very complex. That's what people find so difficult about gesture drawing. How on earth can you draw the figure in 1 minute? Well, the fact is that you're not really meant to. For a successful gesture drawing, you shouldn't really be trying to draw the complete figure. Beginner figure drawing students often forget what gesture actually means. The dictionary definition of gesture is a movement of the body that expresses an idea or a meaning. And I think remembering this will really help you when it comes to doing gesture drawing. The point is not really to draw the figure in a literal sense, or even in a simplified way. The point is to draw the movement or the dynamic quality that you see in the pose. So for this challenge, I want you specifically to focus on trying to not draw the figure. Focus instead on trying to draw the overall movement or flow that you see between forms. I know these are static poses. In fact, they're photographs. They're not moving, but you can still see the movement of the body in these poses. You should at least be training yourself to look out for that. And that leads me to my second point, or my second tip about how to approach short 1-minute gesture drawings, and that has to do with anatomy. A lot of people tend to think that you need to have very advanced knowledge or very advanced anatomical knowledge of the figure in order to do a gesture drawing, but the fact is that you don't. You're only focusing on the most basic and the most obvious landmarks of the figure. Take this drawing as a complete bare bones example. You really need to find the shoulders, the hips, the knees and the ankle, and draw the movement between those markers or those places. To make these expressive and dynamic marks that capture the gesture, the most anatomical knowledge that you need is where is the ankle, where is the knee, where are the shoulders, things like that. You don't need to know advanced anatomy in order to make a powerful gesture drawing. Then my third tip, or the third thing I want you to think about, is your mark making. I would encourage you to try and vary up the pressure and the emphasis in your marks, whether you're using charcoal or a pen or pencil. Now, this is probably the one aspect of gesture drawing that is a bit advanced, simply because beginners often aren't that confident in their mark making, or they're not used to making bold, confident marks yet. But ironically, the fastest and the most direct way of becoming confident in your mark making is to practice gesture drawing. So even if your marks are a bit timid or restrictive, what you can do to loosen up is to exaggerate the pose or exaggerate the emphasis that you see in the pose. That exaggeration in your mark making might seem a bit contrived or forced at first, But this is actually what will really help you to gain confidence in your mark making and help you to make strong dynamic marks. Okay, so those are my 3 main tips to think about. I'm going to start the timer and let's do this challenge. I'm drawing with compressed charcoal on newsprint paper, simply because that's the combination of materials that I find gives me the most fluid marks. I will use both, the side of the charcoal for tonal marks, as well as the edge to make those crisp, clean lines. So in my process, once I've got a general sense of the pose down, I might then try to follow an outer edge or an outer contour, but that's about the most amount of detail or literal meaning that I'll try to put into a gesture drawing. I don't want to draw the details here at all. Now the second pose was very tricky because it was a lying down pose, which is never easy for quick gestures. So what I did here, a bit of a cheat, but I just focused on the head and shoulders rather than trying to draw the whole figure. Again, it felt like I needed to pull back from being a little bit overly focused on the forms. I could sense here that I was trying to draw the figure literally. So I would say, as a gesture drawing, a 1-minute gesture drawing, it's not that successful, but you know what, moving on. In this pose, I try to get the whole figure down from head to toe and then work back up again, just using very simple anatomical landmarks as my guide, as I mentioned before. I'm just following the flow of the pose and looking for where the emphasis is. So again, the next pose was challenging. I only managed to get the head and shoulders again. And I would say avoid what I'm doing here, which was, trying to indicate the features of the face. That's never really a good idea in a gesture drawing. The minute you start focusing on the features of the face, you really get bogged down in details. In this last pose, you can see I was definitely warming up to the whole exercise. I was getting much more confident and much more economical in my marks. So I feel in this one, it's, ended up being the most successful one. I was able to get the pose down very quickly. So I really hope you give this challenge a go and let me know if you do. You'll definitely find that after the first few poses, you start to warm up and you start to get much better at it. So don't, stop after 2 or 3 if they're not all that successful. Just keep it going and try and do at least 5. So as you can see, that was super quick. That's 5 drawings in 5 minutes. Now you can certainly do what I did and keep all of your drawings on one page and just draw over them, or you can make your drawings on separate pages. So if you post your drawings on Instagram, don't forget to tag me so I can see your work, and let me know if these tips were helpful to you. If you want to find out more about why gesture drawing is such a crucial skill for beginners to develop, then check out these 2 videos. And if you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Give this video a like if you think it's worthwhile. Definitely subscribe so that we can stay in touch. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.